Chloe's so-called house was actually a small room, about the size of my bedroom. It contained an old, dirty mattress that made the ones found in jails look like a bed from a five-star hotel. And that was pretty much it. There was also a corner filled with some kind of yellow liquid. Chloe, do you know what a bathroom is? No, what is that? That gave me all the information I needed. I slowly walked away from that corner. Oh, I forgot about Little One. Little One? Did Chloe have a brother? Or maybe a pet? Perhaps she had found a mouse, or a bug, or something. However, given her deplorable living conditions, choosing to spend part of her precious and limited resources on a pet seemed like an idiotic move. Chloe wasn't an idiot. Ignorant, sure, but not an idiot. If she were, she would not have survived years of being trapped down here with that primal. When I finally found out who Little One was, my jaw touched the floor. It wasn't a living being. It was a picture. A picture of myself when I was a little girl, about the same age as Chloe. That's what I thought it was at first. Upon closer inspection, I noticed the girl from the picture was wearing a certain shirt. A shirt that I had never, ever owned or worn in my life. This was a picture of my sister. It had to be. Chloe, where did you find this? In some random room. I don't remember. I think she's sick. She's been standing still, smiling for a long time. It's just a picture, Chloe. An object. It's not alive. Anyway, I gotta keep exploring. Come on, let's go. Wait, hold on, I'm hungry. Chloe walked toward a dark corner and came out with a bone. She started chewing on the bone as if it were the most normal thing in the world. I flashed my light at her, hoping to see what the dark corner was hiding. Leaned against a dirty wall were a bunch of skeletons. Human skeletons. What's worse, the larger ones looked no bigger than the average teenager. And the smaller ones were babies. My skin went pale. I screamed. An urge to puke came up from my stomach to my throat. What are you doing? What's wrong? For a second, I forgot about everything. About my sister, about the mystery, about Primal, and just stared at Chloe in a mix of confusion, shock, and terror. Did she really do it? Was she no better than Primal? Was her innocence just a trick, and I had fallen into her trap, lured into her lair to be consumed and turned into a pile of bones? After a few seconds of tension, I gathered the courage to whisper a few words. What are those? Oh, they were my family when I was little. Some of them were small, and some of them were big. I don't remember much about them. Your family? You lived with other people? There were other people living here? How? When? Why? I have so many questions. Of course there were other people. How do you think that I learned to talk? Good point, but what happened to them? At this point, I was prepared for the worst. For the big revelation. For the, I killed them, I needed to eat, or something like that. Some were sick. Some couldn't find any food. And some ran into Primal. And they weren't as lucky as me. I then felt a huge relief, knowing Chloe wasn't a murderer. Eating the remains of your deceased family is still pretty messed up. But I don't blame her. Finding food down there must have been pretty hard, especially with Primal roaming around. But that relief was at the expense of even more question, confusion, and curiosity. Chloe said she was born here. She also said she had a family. So, could those two skeletons be her parents? Then again, none of those were taller than me. And I wasn't especially tall. They didn't look like adults. I was so invested in my crazy conspiracy theories that it took a few seconds for me to realize that Chloe had started talking. I tried talking to Primal once, but she didn't want to. She then pulled up her shirt, revealing a large scar that ran diagonally across her chest. That monster. No, she's not evil. She just wants to eat and survive. I felt great pity for Chloe, for Primal too, but mostly for Chloe. Being trapped down here for your whole life, having to live every day alone with the constant fear of running into a creature that will try to kill you on sight. It must be horrible, especially for a little girl like her. I wanted to continue exploring and searching for clues. I wanted to solve the mystery of my sister and this whole thing. But I also wanted to help Chloe, to show her a better life, to give her a better life. Chloe, follow me, we're getting out of this dump. What do you mean by that? I mean out of the basement, far away from this place, from Primal, from this misery, and into actual life. But I still don't understand. Don't worry, you will soon. Call me crazy, but I think I remember this room. The exit must be close. We had been walking through those mysterious underground halls for a while, trying to get out of here so Chloe could experience life outside of that creepy bunker. This was not the end of my investigation, however. How could I end it here? I had only began searching the surface. Despite this, I needed to get out. Not just for Chloe. I also needed a break and a notebook to write down all of the evidence. If you say so, but keep it down. Primal can hear us. We kept on going until I saw it. At the far end of the hallway, an open door. You could see a room with gray walls instead of the usual blue. That was it. The basement. The exit. Yes! We did it! That's the exit right there! Come on! I then heard a loud, terrifying, and familiar roar, which was then followed by the usual fast approaching footsteps. I told you she would hear us. I'm sorry. Run towards the door. I think we can make it. Once again, Primal showed off its superhuman speed. As less than 5 seconds after the roar, we could already see her sprinting down the hall. It was a close one, but we made it to the door. Of course, Primal was right behind us, so it reached us a few seconds later. Luckily, that was enough time for us to close it. Primal then began banging on the door. And what's worse is it wasn't locked. Chloe and I pushed back against the door, but it was no use. Primal was winning. I wanted to tell Chloe to push harder. She was already pushing so hard with all of her strength. And just when it seemed all lost, I saw a key on the floor next to Chloe. Chloe, give me that, quick! She grabbed it and gave it to me. I locked the door. Primal had still not given up. Therefore, we continued pushing back until it stopped. It had left. It's finally over. Now, Chloe, follow me upstairs. I have a surprise. The clean smell of my house at least reached my nose. Smelling something had never felt so good. Home sweet home. Chloe, meanwhile, was literally paralyzed. Her only eyes rolled left and right. Her mouth began to open in total shock. She then began shivering with excitement, mesmerized by what laid before her. The tables and chairs in pristine condition. The shelves filled with books. The clock, the sofa, the TV. Everything was brand new to her. Except for the fact that she could talk and live in a bunker. She was pretty much a caveman or a cave girl, I suppose. This is your house? Yes, Chloe. All of this? Yeah, and this is just the living room. What? I took a look at the clock, and to my surprise, what had felt like a whole day down there had only been 4 hours. I still had more than enough time to show Chloe the house, have lunch, and have a shower before my parents came home from work. I then gave her a tour through the entire building, showing her the kitchen, the bathroom, my bedroom. I had to be careful, though. I didn't want her to have a joy overdose. After having lunch that Chloe ate with her hands. I noticed the food all over her shirt, or what was left of it. Had enhanced her stench. Wow, best food ever. Yeah, but I think you need a shower. We both do. What's a shower? The exact disgusting reply I expected. Even more of a reason you should take one. After 10 minutes explaining to Chloe shampoo isn't dangerous, we finally entered the shower plate. It was then when I noticed some strange markings on Chloe's back. I first thought they were just scars, but upon closer inspection, it became clear that those markings were tattoos. A huge cross was tattooed on her skin. A cross that seemed to cover up a word. Some of the letters were still visible, though. J-E-A? Jessica? Isn't that your name? Yes, but I'm talking about what's on your back. My back? There's something on my back? Yeah? You've never noticed it? No. I've tried multiple times, but I can't see my back. At first sight, it looked like some kind of anti-Jessica logo or something. But that made no sense. The most logical explanation was that the name came before the cross, which was added to cover up and or hide the name for whatever reason. When I first met her, I thought she was just a random homeless girl that had snuck into my basement. After a while, I began suspecting she may be more than just that. But now, I was sure. What did that tattoo mean? It's clear Chloe wasn't responsible for the tattoo. She wasn't even aware that she had them until I told her. So, who made them? And why? We got out of the shower, and I looked at Chloe's tattoo again, wondering what it could mean. Could Chloe actually be my sister? No, that was impossible. My sister was blonde, like me. Chloe had black hair. Plus, Jessica was supposed to be my big sister. Chloe was just a little girl. Have you finished looking at my back? I'm cold. Yeah, sorry, let's go to my room. I'll give you some clean clothes. I opened my wardrobe and searched for clothes from when I was a little girl, and I found a yellow shirt with a pink flower in the middle. Wait, I have that! What do you mean? Chloe then grabbed her old, dirty shirt and gave it to me. I examined it. It was hard, but if you looked close, you could make out a faded pink flower covered behind countless spots and a thick layer of dirt that covered the entire yellow shirt. They were the exact same shirt. Who are you? I shouted out of frustration. Seriously, who was she? There were signs that pointed towards my sister, but there were other things that contradicted that. She claimed to have been born in that bunker. But was that really true? Maybe she just assumed. Especially after being trapped down there. which caused her to completely forget about the outside world. Let's not forget the fact her name wasn't really Chloe. I had given her that name. And then there was her supposed family and Primal. How did they fit into this? I guess I'm me. I don't know what to say. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. You weren't meant to answer that. Look, Jessica, a thing inside that square just moved. It's a window, Chloe. Nothing inside of it. What you saw moving was outside. Oh. Can we go outside? I guess we could. Wait, did you hear that? Yeah, I've never heard that sound in my life. It's a car. My parents, they're here. Chloe, you have to hide.